Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do and doing what we love, and let's talk about the fake stuff. Crab man, what's going on, man?
Just been working like crazy, but the NFL draft's coming up like 2 or 3 weeks, so we're just getting ready for this, getting the rest of our rookie stuff out, getting to what we struggle at the most, just like the NFL struggles with the most. Looking at these quarterbacks, they can't pick them. We can't pick them. Like quarterbacks, I don't know about you, but running backs seem kind of a little easier to watch. And then when you get the quarterbacks, you're like, man, what is going on here? Is this dude good or is he not?
Yeah, like Crabman said, quarterbacks tonight. If you see it at the bottom, I just had Cam Ward's name just blasted. It's a Cam Ward podcast. But like Crabman said, we're going to go through these quarterbacks. And listen, I want to say it is hard to hit on these, but I will say this, me and Kraft, we can tell you when they not going to hit because I know this. Every year we get on here and they try to hype up these certain guys, and me and Kraftman will be like, we'll shut that shit down real quick. We ain't playing them games.
Hey, Rich, Will Levis.
Will Levis, exactly. I mean, you couldn't right there because me and Kraftman, we've only been breaking down rookies, 2 or 3 years, Next year, I think next year we're really going to try to up our game, but you're going to get a little brief overview of these quarterbacks right here. And the thing is they're the hardest to figure out, but these quarterbacks are who we've seen the most. You know what I'm saying? I've seen every one of these quarterbacks play at some point in time, especially the big names. So we're going to go through about 5 or 6 names, and then we're going to go through, kind of mention the other names out there. But first of all, back in the day, me and Craftman, we did an episode maybe 2 summers ago, and we were just kind of, digging in deep on quarterbacks, figuring them out. We did running backs, wide receivers. We did them all. Me and Craftman did a little research, a little bit different than what you've heard the past couple of years. And we should bring those – we should, bring them back up and talk about it a little bit, Craftman, because I know you know where I'm going. I'm just rambling right now, but – quarterbacks outside of the first round, they'll do a goddamn thing. That's all I know. There's only like 2. We got Jalen Hurts out there. Derek Carr. Dak Prescott. I mean, of course, Tom Brady, obviously, things happen. But Craftman broke down the numbers, and quarterbacks outside of the first round, they really don't have success as often. So me and Craftman, we're going to be looking at that draft capital. And that's the reason why there's probably some podcasts out there breaking down 15 quarterbacks. Well, I'm not going to break down 15 quarterbacks because I already know I'm going to talk about 6 of them tonight, and probably 5 of them ain't going to be shit. Because in general, I don't think this class is even close to last year's class. I've mentioned on a podcast when we had NDB and Big Dunk and all them and Chris, we had all them on, and I said I would take whoever you had ranked 6 in last year's class out of that top 6. Like if it was Penix, I had Penix ranked like 2 or 3, but if it was like Bowden or JJ McCarthy, we probably had him the lowest, I bet. Don't you think?
Yeah, probably like 4 or 5. Yeah.
Him or Bo Nix. I would probably take those guys over the number 1 guy who I think is Cam Ward. I know Craftman might disagree a little bit, but I would take all 6 of those guys over what I'm looking at this year, and it's not even close to me.
Yeah, and like to kind of go back to what you were saying about draft capital, like when a quarterback gets drafted in the 2nd round, 3rd round, or later, they're usually getting drafted as a backup. Like they're coming in, like maybe a team is unsure, like you got the Saints with Derek Carr. Maybe they'll draft one in the 2nd or 3rd round to prepare for the future, and maybe it works or it doesn't. But like at other positions, wide receiver, running back, tight end, you get them drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, you pretty much expect to see them on the field like right away. Like 2nd round draft capital for a running back is stout. You expect them to be on the field, pretty much right away. But like Jalen Milroe might get drafted in the 3rd round. He's probably going straight to a backup spot. And so one thing, he has to be good. Second thing, he has to beat out the starter or rely on an injury. So it's just like you're your percentages of him being fantasy relevant just kind of go down the later you get drafted.
Right.
You just got to be like, there's not many Brock Purdy's out there in the world.
Right. Yeah, Brock Purdy, another name we didn't bring up. And, I'm looking at these guys, and I'm just wondering how many we're going to get in the first round. My guess would be 3. Craftman, the top 3 guys.
Yeah,
but 3. What are you even hearing out there on them streets? I mean, is any of these other guys might be slipping in? Just these top 3 guys. Maybe Dart's a little questionable. It could be a second-round guy type deal, or you see him firmly in the first.
I think Jaxson Dart probably goes in the first, but I mean, it could be like Will Levis was supposed to go in the first last year. He went at the first pick of the second round, the very first pick the next day. So, I mean,
right.
I expect 3 of them to be in the first, but you never know. 2 of them for sure.
Yeah, and then the draft capital is like one thing when we were doing those breakdowns in the summer is like the draft capital. It just super duper matters. You know what I'm saying, Crowd Man? Because if you're not getting drafted in the first, you're getting drafted in the second, then the team has less commitment to you. Like the Titans, no problem moving on from Will Levis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, obviously when you got the 101, man, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, these teams do it with, the Jets. They get the number 1 pick every year. They're just throwing quarterbacks out. You know what I'm saying? So,
and then they go on to have a good career when they get rid of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add before we hop on to our first guy?
No, I think you covered it. I mean, I don't know the exact stats you were talking about, but I know we did, like you said, we did an episode way back when, and I went back to 2010 or something, and there was 5 out of over 100. That was a statistic. So, outside of the first round quarterbacks, like we said, you just don't get. You're not going to hit much.
And with that said, before I get on, I will say, I do think these quarterbacks right here in your rookie drafts, fantasy football rookie drafts, I think they will have some good value whether you like these guys or not. Like Sanders is not going to be going. I mean, we'll see where he goes in the NFL draft, but Sanders is not going to go ahead of some of these running backs that are getting hyped up. And Jaxson Dart, sure. Yeah. So we're looking at a late round, first round pick in your rookie draft. So kind of you're getting Bo Nix at the beginning of the second. He was a good value no matter what, whether you liked him or not.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of thinking the same with these guys.
Yeah. And going back to last year in particular, when you can go ahead and drop all the film when you watch, what you think of a player, you don't have to drop it completely, but when you go into your rookie drafts, Bo Nix went in the first round last year, mid first round. I didn't like him, when I just didn't like watching his film and stuff. Same thing with Michael Penix. I mean, we loved him, but Michael Penix went in the second round of our rookie draft. So what I'm saying is this year and from here on, I'm going to throw all this shit aside. If I don't like Jaxson Dart and he goes at pick number 8 or number 15 this year, don't let him fall to the second round because, the people that drafted Michael Penix in the second round last year are looking pretty good. And the people that when Bo Nix slid, you were drafting players
2-1
way ahead. You were drafting Keon Coleman ahead of Michael Penix. You're drafting, players like that, Troy Franklin and shit over Bo Nix and stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff going on. Blake Corum over Bo Nix and Michael Penix. I don't think we should make that mistake again.
Nope, I'm with you, and that's why we're talking about quarterbacks tonight. Because in your super flex leagues, you fucking need them. And we're gonna start off right off the bat with Cam Ward, who, to me, number 1 guy in the class. I know I can't remember what you said and what Indy Beast. We're gonna talk about it right now, but I think clear number 1 guy. The thing that I like about Cam Ward, and me and you've been breaking it down, so we've been learning a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We don't just do it and throw it away and forget about it. Reps. I don't really care about how old you are and when you come out, especially as a quarterback. I mean, you can play quarterback till you're 40 plus if you're real good at it. So Cam Ward, he got a lot of reps in, so to me, that's in his favor. And I think maybe NFL teams are starting to come around to that. Like, I don't care that you started 5 years and you moved around. You went to Washington State. You slung the ball there. They're air raid, so you're throwing the ball a lot. You're getting a lot of reps in. You come to Miami, you're playing in the ACC. You're throwing the ball there too. My thing is with Cam Ward, and I think he's good. And I think he can succeed. I just think he makes some weird ass looking throws. Like he'd be like falling off. He'd be like, I don't even know, like a damn shortstop or some shit. Like looking, slinging that thing from the hip. That I mean, you know what I'm saying, crap, man. I don't usually pick up on stuff like that, and if I'm saying it, it's definitely there's got to be some truth to it. The dude definitely does some weird arm angles and stuff. The thing I like about Cam Ward is he's buttoned up. He's like one of those guys first in. Like if I'm the Titans, I'm definitely drafting Cam Ward. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need some stability at quarterback. You want a guy that's buttoned up. Like Cam Ward is your guy. That's how I want him to be the leader of my locker room. But it's like I said, I just think he's just good. Like I don't think he's like super duper. Like if I'm in my super flex drafts, like I don't want to pass up on quarterbacks, but if I can, I would like to slide back or up, try to hit on these running backs and not lose a lot of value and stuff. But I don't really have too much to say about him. Yeah, like I mean, like if I'm at the 102, I don't really think Cam Ward's going at the 102 this year personally. Like, but I guess. Well, I'm going to hand it off to you, Kraft Man, because I know you got some things to say. But let's just say Cam Ward. I hear there's a little bit of debate. If he does get drafted 1, why not draft him at the 101 as the overall? I've said this kind of stuff in the past about when Anthony Richard was getting that height and stuff. I'm like, if you really believe it and you talk that talk, draft him at number 1 in your rookie drafts. I think it's just a little different with Cam Ward, not as many strong opinions as there was with Anthony Richardson. Like, oh, he's going to run,
Yeah.
Cam Ward is a little bit different, but go ahead, Kraft Man.
No, like, I mean, a guy that I work with, he's got the 101, 102, and he's like, I'm going Genty 101, and if Hampton goes somewhere good at the 102, I can't decide if I'm going back-to-back running backs or if I'm going to go Cam Ward. And I'm like, that's a pretty tough decision because, like, if you get two great landing spots for running backs and in dynasty leagues, like, they're few and far between. You get your Bijan Robinsons, Jahmyr Gibbs and stuff. So if you can get 2 of them in one class to fix your team, fix your running back position, it'd be hard to go against. But like just off Cam Ward, I personally didn't think he was special. I think him and Shedeur are close to me in this class. So I would say I like Shedeur a little bit better than Cam Ward, but a lot of stuff that I've seen with him, like the thing about college is it's just weird because same thing with Caleb Williams. When you have 10 seconds to throw the ball and you can make a sandwich back there, you're gonna look good. And Cam Ward had a lot of time, and I wish I could have seen him make a little bit more quicker decisions than he did instead of improvising so much. But you know who he reminded me of? He actually kind of reminded me of Zach Wilson out there. And you said that little sidearm. I said I got it written right here, Kyler Murray, sidearm throwing motion. But he's not Kyler, though, like escaping. But I see a lot of that in him. But I'm not saying he's Kyler. But he had 8 fumbles last year. And another thing I got, he only played against 1 top 25 team all year. So I know the ACC – I mean, the ACC is not bad, but if you look at their schedule, he did only play against 1 ranked team all season long. So he had good weapons there. Even the offense.
Yeah. Even in the ACC, Miami was like, because they got rid of divisions, like they wasn't even playing the best ACC teams this past year. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get lucky and you don't even have to play the best. But that's how it was with Miami.
Yeah. But 8 fumbles is a lot, though. That's like, I don't know how much that hurts your fantasy. Like turnovers might even help sometimes. Jameis Winston effect. Pick 6, you get the ball back, But we didn't do his stats. He had 4,313 yards, 39 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So his stats were there. I mean, I liked what I seen when he would improvise, but I just didn't see that, like, that steady pocket passing type quarterback that I like to see. I mean, like when you watch a guy like Lamar, Jaden Daniels, or somebody who's a little more mobile, even Kyler, like they can drop back, play under center, run play action, and get the ball out quick. I just didn't see that a lot because Miami's offensive line was really good. Their competition they were playing wasn't that great, so it's kind of like you're not going to be able to do the stuff you were doing when it comes to the NFL.
Yeah,
holding the ball that long.
Yeah, I feel like me and you are pretty on par with Cam Ward. Like me and you got the same opinions, except you just think Shedeur, you would rank him ahead. Crap, man, I'm ready to go ahead and slide on to Shedeur if you want to.
Yeah.
Colorado 6'2". Listen, man, here's the thing about Shedeur too, and this is what I want to say because I can't figure out, and this is the truth about what I think about. I'm gonna say he gets some hate because of Deion Sanders and their name. A lot of people make some unnecessary, like when I'm on Twitter, they're breaking him down. He's trash, yada yada. I don't think Sanders is trash, but I also want to, on the other side of things, they also got a lot of love too. Colorado, like
a lot of TV time.
They didn't beat no ranked. Yeah, they didn't beat no ranked opponents in 2 years. That were acting.
They
like
played
these guys
against
were
some
legends.
good teams though.
Yeah, but it's like that. We're acting like these guys were like legends. Like they're playing in the Alamo Bowl on ESPN. And we're like, oh, we're so sad, Travis Hunter and all that. Like, relax. Now I do think Sanders is good. So I think it's somewhere. I'm gonna put myself somewhere in the middle. Like he's definitely getting some hate. He's definitely gotten some love over the past couple of years too. I'm just dead in the middle on it because I know there's a lot of things to say. But here's one thing I want to say about him. Clearly number 2, and I do think he is up there with Cam Ward. A lot of reps, played a lot of college football. That's what I'm saying about these top two guys, and I guess Dart too. These guys got a lot of reps. But the one thing I like about it, let's see, I got it right here. Led the FBS by completing a school record 74% of his passes. And to me, man, that's big. I think Sanders is. You know what? The more I think about it, I do think about these top two guys really could have success in the NFL. Sanders being one of them. I hope Sanders gets a good spot, and hopefully Deion can put him in that position to get him. Like I don't really want him to go to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying?
It might happen.
If quarterback goes to Cleveland, you're just like, damn. I don't really know how to feel about him in rookie drafts, but if he goes to the Giants, you feel a whole lot better. Him going and playing with Malik Neighbors. If he drops a little bit further than that,
that's what I
don't like Brown.
Yeah, the Browns. Yeah, it's probably not the best spot. They got some weapons over there. It's not like it has been in the past. Like it's not the worst place, but just going by what Cleveland does, they draft the big names, man. Baker Mayfield coming out of Oklahoma, Johnny Manziel. Like I think Shedeur ends up. They still hadn't even. They don't even have a quarterback right now, do they? Like they were talking about Kirk Cousins kind of going over there. Maybe a chance that happens, but I don't know. I can't see them drafting like a Travis Hunter or somebody like that over Sanders. But his stats last year: 4,134 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Like you said, 74% completion percentage. And what I liked about him over Cam Ward is just like Colorado had 0 running game. They did not run the football. Their leading rusher, I don't even know if he was over 500 yards. Like they did not have a rushing game at all. Their offensive line was nowhere near Miami's. And he was getting hit left and right. But one thing I liked is he just got the ball out and took the yards that were there. That's what I like to see. It's like hit your back foot, 8 yards, 7 yards. Just hit the guy that's there. And he made some throws like under pressure where he got hit really hard. Like he got knocked the fuck out. Like as he's making the throw, he stood in there and took the hit, made the throw. And I kind of like what I've seen out of him. But I think one thing, like being Deion's son, people they'll think he's like a super athletic, that lineage. Deion was like just crazy. He's not really like that. He's more, I feel like he's going to be more like a game manager. He had negative 50 rushing yards last season, -50. They do count sacks though, so it's not saying he can't move, but he's not. He don't have that rushing upside as like Cam Ward and even Jaxson Dart. So you're not going to get that. But if he goes to the right spot, I think he can manage the game really well. Gets with a good offensive coordinator, and I think he'll succeed right away. He might not be the best for fantasy, but I think he's going to come in the league, and probably at the end of the first year, we're going to be like, yeah, that was all right.
Oh, Tim Hasselback or Matt Hasselback, one of them said they graded him compared to Andy Dalton. I don't really see that as a hate. You know what I'm saying?
I don't either. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's like I don't really have a comp for him. He's just kind of a pocket passer who gets the ball out. Takes what's given to him. That's what I like to see in college more than anything. That's why I hated Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and all this stuff. It's like pocket presence is like almost number one thing to me. Like, can you hit your back foot and just go ahead and make the decision and make the right decision instead of doing that Caleb Williams type stuff where the incredible plays are there, but can you just make the plays that are given every time? And consistency.
Right.
And I felt like he was consistent.
So with Sanders, we feel like game management type guy. So, it's like it's just one of those things. Like in a super flex league, he's going to be like a quarterback too on your team. I don't really view him going off. I don't see him coming in and just going off and taking the league by storm type deal like that. But I think he's good. And to me, he's, firmly two in that top two. I don't think Jaxson Dart's really not close to him to me, but
kind of like Bryce Young was last year. Like when Bryce Young kind of improved last year, I feel like they're a little bit comparable. Like Shedeur's bigger, but they both don't really have no incredible arm strength or nothing like that. Like they're just making smart throws, smart plays. Right.
All right, let's slide it on over. Jaxson Dart, Ole Miss, 6'2". Noah's favorite. Listen, man, I'm going to go ahead and tell you why he's Noah's favorite. And I called it before. I even said it to Crafman. Yeah, we're down here in SEC territory, man. No matter what, they're going to love him. They're going to love him. But here's the thing. Jaxson Dart is good. And I wanted to say when I was watching him, and even when I watched him in college, but I feel like out of these three guys, I always say these three guys because I just talk about these three. They're the main ones in my opinion. With Jaxson Dart, it feels like he has the chance to, I don't want to say the most upside, but I want to say he has the most, how do I want to word it? He has a very good chance to be NFL.
He has a chance to be the Bo Nix of last year.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was the best one out of this class, it wouldn't even surprise me. But I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 guy in the league or nothing. I'm just saying, if this dude came out here, played, Bo Nix, 7 to 10 years, nothing too special type deal. That's kind of like how I see Jaxson Dart. It's like an NFL quarterback, can make some throws. He was playing with Lane Kiffin this year, so they, him, and then what's the wide receiver coming out? Trey something.
Trey Harris.
So, they have some – the thing is with Ole Miss is they have some real good-ass games. Jaxson Dart has some good-ass games like against Georgia, against somebody else, some big team. LSU, I think it was. Good-ass games, man. And then you're playing like Arkansas on a Saturday at 12 and you fucking suck. And that's just how I feel about Jaxson Dart. Like, I don't think Jaxson Dart lived up to the hype coming into college, personally. Like, he was one of those top highly recruited guys. So I just feel like there's a little stake on him for me personally because I just thought Ole Miss would be a little better these past couple of years with Jaxson Dart. But I think he's good, and I think he can, nothing too negative to say about Jaxson Dart. But what say you, Craft Man?
I mean, their offensive line was really bad. I mean, that's one of the reasons that he struggled a little bit. But, I just kind of like the Bo Nix, a little bit of the Bo Nix comparison. He does have a strong arm. He's got good pocket mobility, and he can he can run. I mean, he ran for 495 yards last year. He ran for over 600 yards in 2022. So, I mean, this is a guy that can get out of the pocket and go a little bit, and like his size and everything. But I mean, I'm not with Noah as far as just like, man, he's definitely the best in this class. Like, I mean, the competition, it was good. I mean, the SEC's good, but I think he belongs at number 2 or number 3. But in the NFL draft, this could be a guy just like you just need like one GM to really like you. He could go
right.
He could go really high in the first round. He could go, in the second round. I mean, my perfect spot for him would be, like the Steelers, going in like the 20s. So if he goes to the Steelers, I think that's probably a pretty good landing spot for him. But I mean, you might see a team like
scenario.
You might see a team way on up there, pick him early. Shoot, I mean, would you be that surprised if Jaxson Dart went number 2 to the Browns or something over Shedeur? Like, I mean, it could happen. It probably won't, but it could.
I'd be a little bit, but I view him more as, he's just going to be one of those Steelers. He goes to Steelers, I'm probably all in on something like that. Go to one of those organizations that are stable. So if he slide into one of those button-up organizations, I probably view Jaxson Dart a little bit different if he goes to the Steelers personally.
Yeah, I mean, even if Rodgers goes there, it's like, wow. I mean, they could still draft him there. Why not? I mean, right. You can't keep rolling with Mason Rudolph as your backup or your starter, hoping that it's going to pan out. So you need a backup plan anyway.
Who knows? They might not even bring in Aaron Rodgers. Feels like Aaron Rodgers
doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, just kind of halfway in, halfway out type deal. But anyways, anything else you want to add to Jaxson Dart before we select?
I just wanted to say something about Aaron Rodgers, man. He reminds me of me at the beer store, wanting to try something different, just standing in front of the cooler. Like, man, what do I want tonight? Like, I'll sit in there for 15 minutes. Can't decide, man.
I don't even know if the Steelers want Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they were talking about Aaron Rodgers had some interest in the Vikings. I'm just thinking, dude, the Vikings want you? Like, I don't know. I'm not even,
man. Brad almost called that shit, dude. He said like 5 years ago, he was like, he's going to go to the Jets just like Favre, play 2 years, and he's going to go to the Vikings. And I was like, man, you crazy as hell. Like, there ain't no way that's going to happen. And it almost came true. It still might, but I doubt it.
That shit is crazy. Sliding it over.
My guy.
SEC guy. We got Jalen Milroe in the building from Alabama. Heck, man, I'm trying to write down my dang timestamp, but my pen don't want to work. Listen, man, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about Jalen Milroe, and I'm just going to say it right off the top. This dude is trash. He's not that good. And personally, if I was I would love to have Jalen Milroe as like my Taysom Hill. You know what I'm saying? If I could get and use him in a role like that, dude, man, I would take off with Jalen Milroe. If the Falcons got him, man, and we slid him, and we running some packages, like I'd be all in. But as far as playing an NFL quarterback, and this has been going on for 2 years, like this dude for real has some good games. Like he beats Georgia. Like I don't know why he just beats Georgia.
He kills Georgia.
Yeah, like I don't know why, but he'll go out there and struggle against South Florida and lose his job because you know what? I know at the beginning of the year or 2 years ago, the dude was getting benched by Nick Saban. He couldn't even keep his job. Then the backup was so bad, and they throw Milroe back in. He can't really complete passes that good. It's just at playing quarterback. Jalen Milroe is not good at playing quarterback, and I'm gonna put it like this: he's gonna get drafted in the second or third round. There ain't no point of even taking a risk on him until your third round of your rookie drafts and stuff like that, because they'll have some rushing upside and who knows. But as far as playing quarterback, fuck out of here.
All right, with him, I'll give you the stats right quick. 2,844 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 picks, 726 rushing yards, and 20 touchdowns. I'll say I'm just going to read right off my notes with him after I say this one thing. Anthony Richardson went at QB4, and this is Jalen Milroe is just as good a college quarterback as Anthony Richardson was. So that was just I can't take – I always got to take a shot at Anthony Richardson when I can. But I just got – the stuff I wrote down, I looked down, I was like, his release and mechanics just don't look right. That's what I wrote down. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, it just doesn't look right. Misses easy, short, and intermediate throws, but is better on his vertical throws. College athlete at the quarterback position, but not NFL ready. I mean – He's blazing fast. Like he's a crazy good athlete at quarterback in college. But he's gonna get drafted to be a backup, and it's gonna come down to the starter getting hurt, and then he might even be the third stringer on the team. I mean, if he gets an opportunity, I could see like somebody gets hurt, he might have some fantasy relevant games. If an injury is ahead of him because of the rushing upside, people love Trey Lance. And sometimes in fantasy, it's broken a little bit. You can be a shitty quarterback and rush for 60 yards in a game, throw one touchdown, and end up with 15, 20 points. So,
right.
Where do you draft him in your rookie draft, though? Let's say he goes in the late second, third round to a team who already has I wouldn't say like a Joe Burrow type quarterback, but maybe like a Geno Smith or something. Like you got Geno, and then you got, Jalen Milroe back there or something.
He'd be a third round rookie pick for me. Like if you're not going in the first round, and the second round, I'm gonna at least take my stabs on these running backs. Like guys like Dylan Sampson. I want to take him in the middle of the second or the back end, something like that. Because I know these quarterbacks don't do good. But the thing is, like, there is a Jalen Hurts out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, that did happen. But he was probably going into the third round of your rookie drafts and stuff like that. So the third round's where I'll take a stab on a quarterback. Like, hell, I mean, I was giving people compliments for taking Spencer Rattler in the fourth last year. I was like, that's a good-ass draft pick. Like, you never know. He might start for 2 years. And that's the same thing with Jalen Milroe. Like, you get him in the third, you get him in, and then he starts running the ball and maybe has some success. But as far as, like, am I going to use a rookie pick? He's going to be on my roster for 5 to 7 years. Like, he's probably going to be irrelevant probably just an irrelevant pick, period. Probably sit on your taxi for 2 years, and you're probably going to drop him. Just like I'm about to do with Hendon Hooker and Doo-Doo Dynasty. I'm just going to have to drop him.
Yeah,
I'm about to just do the same thing.
we like Hendon. I mean, Hendon Hooker was fine in college, But
right. So
you get drafted as a backup,
nothing
you don't
much
get the opportunity. The only thing I'd say with the value of drafting a quarterback in your rookie drafts, like third round or something, is if an injury does happen and he gets some playing time, like say he does go out there and puts up 20 points 2 weeks in a row, like you can get something. You can get more off of that quarterback that does that more than you could like the handcuffed running back who comes out and fills in for 2 games does well. You know what I mean? So,
all right.
If you feel like drafting that way, but I think I'd rather just kind of take a shot and miss completely or hit in the second or third round. Jalen.
I agree. I just think
Noah hates him, by
Milroe.
the way.
Yeah. Milroe, I'm telling you, man, out of all the quarterbacks, out of all of them, as far as being an NFL quarterback, he's the worst. It's not even close. I mean, we'll even throw some names out here, and I'll just throw some names out there, and I'll take. All right. Well, listen, man, I don't want to hate on Milroe because he had a fine college career. A good young man, I'm sure.
But, one thing we didn't say about him, he didn't really improve. Like, you didn't really see the improvement throughout his college career either. His statistics from 2023 and 2024 are identical. I mean, if not a little bit worse. But, to give him some, a little bit of praise, his completion percentage wasn't that bad. It wasn't down there in like the 50s and the 40s like another guy that we talked about earlier today. Like 60-something percent of completion percentage. I mean, he's okay. He's just, I don't really see much going for him.
Right. Well, shoot, man. Slide it on to the next one. We got Quinn Ewers, and
let's talk about
somebody who didn't live up.
Let's talk about inconsistency right quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Preach it. I mean, he really is. I mean, Well, I'll put it like this: he was one of the most highly recruited guys coming out of high school, and I want to say even came out of high school early and went to Ohio State, and got caught up in their little quarter. They got a bunch of good quarterbacks up there, and you're a young guy. You decide to transfer, come back home to Texas, which I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? You're coming back home, you come to Texas, and then definitely had a knock from going to Ohio State to Texas or nothing like that. But listen, man, Ewers, he makes some throws where you're like, damn, this dude could be an NFL guy for sure. And then you see him in some games, and you're like, man, this dude is trash. And they're going to be Texas. They're going to put in Arch Manning here soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, make no mistake about it with Quinn Ewers. If there was no place for him back at Texas this year, and it wasn't because it's because he was subpar, and they got a guy that they really think that's going to come over here and do it with Arch Manning. But Quinn Ewers had no choice to either transfer or go to the NFL, and he chose to go to the NFL. Because I personally, with a name like Quinn Ewers and going from Texas, if you transfer to North Carolina or something like that, I mean, you look worse. I almost feel like he was forced to go to the NFL this year.
Bo Nix did it.
Yeah, but he went to Oregon. I mean, yeah, you're true. I mean, but Auburn. I mean, come on now. Like,
if he would have entered the NFL draft after his Auburn career, just think of where Bo Nix would have went if he didn't go to Oregon.
Yeah, agreed. So Ewers is just one of those guys. Like, he could have upside. I kind of view him as a backup quarterback. He makes throws. He makes some good throws. I mean,
if somebody really good throws.
Yeah, like if somebody wanted to take a shot on him. The thing is, it's like, where do you take a shot on Quinn Ewers? Like, where is he going to the NFL draft? He's not going day one. So we'll just – I don't really have much to say about him. Except I just think he's just inconsistent. He's good as fuck. He's inconsistent. He got ran out of Texas, which to me don't feel too good. So anything you want to add, Kraft man?
I mean, I think you covered it all. I just got poor decision-making on occasion, forces some throws. Like we said, his consistency is kind of back and forth. He makes some incredible throws, but the very next drive, he's throwing in a triple coverage. And, but he played through an injury last year. I think he had, like, broken ribs or something like that. So, I mean, maybe that was bothering him.
Maybe the throws that we saw are because he's just been so damn good his whole life. I mean, not even just his career, his whole life. And he makes these good-ass throws, and then he don't care about throwing it, to maybe a little lack of focus. So your arm talent's good, you're the best. Maybe that's the reason why you throw it in that triple coverage. You know what I'm saying, Kraft man? Maybe it's just not –
yeah.
Maybe it's just like a lack of focus type thing.
Yeah, it's not a knock on his, like, athleticism or nothing like that. He got a strong arm. He's got good pocket presence and stuff. It's just like, why are you doing this shit sometimes? And that's what I'm thinking. It's like, can you just get that out? If you can just get that out and just take the plays that are there and stop making so many mistakes. I mean, he could have easily been, like you said, coming out of high school, he could have easily been the number one quarterback in this class if he performed last year with Texas the way he was supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, when he came out, he was super highly recruited. Like, you was definitely thinking this guy's like number one draft pick in 3 years when he was coming out of high school. So,
and I don't think he lost the hype. I mean, I really don't think he lost the hype. He just he lost it by the way he was playing. I mean, he could have, like I said, he could have came in this year, and if he played a good bit better, he could have been drafted. We'd be talking about a first round pick for sure.
Right. Yeah. That I'm not gonna hate on him. Like, I obviously think he's better than Milroe, and I think Quinn Ewers is fine, but he's just another one of those guys. Let's just see where he lands. Let's see what kind of pathway there is. And then we'll figure out third, fourth round type deals. Quinn Ewers, not too much for me to even say. It's just his thing is inconsistent. Yeah. Anything you want to add, Kraft man?
No, I think we got it. I think we covered it.
All right, so here we are with Will Howard. This is going to be the last guy we mainly break down because I really got just a couple points I want to bring out with Will Howard. Because this motherfucker just went off in the college football playoffs, and we're talking about like 3 games. And not against FSR teams either. We're talking like we're talking what, Tennessee, Notre Dame,
Penn State,
whoever they played. Penn State. We're talking about some good football teams. Yeah. 4 games. The dudes just went on a stretch. Like, when I think about it, I just remember Joe Burrow going the fuck off in the playoffs a couple years ago, kind of like that. The only difference is Joe Burrow went off all fucking year. And the thing is with Will Howard is you got regular season Will Howard, and then you got this little playoff run Will Howard. I mean, Will Howard couldn't even beat Michigan in the regular season, Kraft, man. And then the motherfucker shows up to the playoffs and is throwing bombs everywhere. Jeremiah Smith looking like a god. I mean, I don't know. So my thing is with Will Howard is maybe, just maybe, the dude he got a lot of reps in over the season. And maybe, just maybe, he started figuring it out. By college football, he just got it booming. So maybe you can see him. He's big. I didn't mention his weight. 236 pounds, bigger quarterback. Maybe Will Howard does have a chance to come in here and do it. He just won a national championship. You know what I'm saying? I like to give guys credit for coming in and winning football games and stuff. Like, you come in here, is it debatable that Will Howard, is Will Howard going behind Jalen Milroe, you think? Probably. I don't know.
He probably is, but just by the way you're talking, I mean, I don't know. You never said if you liked him or disliked him, but I like him better than Quinn Ewers or Jalen Milroe. I think he'd be number 4 on my list, even though we're talking about him last. I mean, he's the biggest quarterback in this class, and he can run. I mean, he's good on design runs, like short yardage type, Josh Allen type stuff. I mean, not breaking out of the pocket and making crazy stuff happen, but on design runs, short yardage stuff, he gets it. Like QB sneaks, he's going to get it. But, I mean, 73% completion percentage. The one thing with him you're always going to hear is, he's playing with the best players, the best receivers in college football, which, I mean, in one hand, you should do pretty well. But, in the other hand, it's like, if you do good, then people are just going to say, you got a bunch of talent around you. So, but, I mean, a couple things I got on him. His mechanics look kind of jacked up when he was under pressure, starts missing throws. He's a little older, 24 years old, and he had a bad combine.
Right.
That's kind of what's driving down his draft stock a lot. If he would have came out there and had a good combine, maybe we'd be talking about him a little higher. But, I mean, some teams might still like him. I mean, I would take a chance on him above some of these other guys for sure. Because, I mean, I like what I've seen out of him. Truthfully, he needs. There's definitely some improvements he's got to work on, like intermediate throws, and just he kind of sees ghosts a little bit sometimes in the pocket. Like you remember when Sam Darnold said he was seeing ghosts, where he just kind of gets freaked out for no reason. It's just like, just step up in the pocket and make your throw. There's nobody around.
Yeah. Yeah. Crap, man, I agree with what you said about Will Howard probably being 4. I would say he's firmly 4 in my rankings. And I would be willing to take more of a shot at Will Howard than Milroe or Ewers or whatever. I mean, definitely Milroe, but Ewers too. I would definitely take Will Howard. And the thing is I like Will Howard all right, where you could probably convince me. The thing is Jaxson Dart's going to have draft capital where Will Howard ain't. So if you was to give me some upside, if I was looking at them two and they had same draft capital and I was just purely picking on the upside, I might would say Will Howard would have more upside. Dart is just I
like Dart a little
more NFL.
A little more.
Yeah. You can convince me though, but I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Dart 3, Howard 4. That's where I stand.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add, Kraft man?
I'm interested to see where Howard goes in particular. I mean, I feel like we might have a beat on where Milroe and Ewers goes, but Will Howard's he's kind of a dark horse. I have no idea. I could see him going in the second round to some team. I could see him going some Spencer Rattler type stuff, like 4th, 5th round or something.
Yeah.
Where it's just you can't do anything with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shoot, Crap, man. Let's just toss some names out there real quick. The other guys, we're not going to really break them down like we was, but Dylan Gabriel, quarterback, Oregon, left-handed, had a long career. He transferred multiple times, stuff like that. Has a good strong arm. I just don't see him playing NFL football. Maybe Dylan Gabriel, just because he has a strong arm, go out there and be a Case Keenum type deal or some shit, a left-handed Case Keenum. But I give Case Keenum credit. That dude could actually go in and start years. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if like these guys could.
Matt Flynn up in here.
Yeah. Like so, I don't know. You want to say anything about any other names you want to or anything, Crap Man?
I mean, I think I'm fine right there. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, did he set the record for passing yards or with Oregon? I know he was getting close. He had that long college career, kind of like a little Stetson Bennett out there, a little left-handed Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. UCF, Oklahoma, then Oregon. I mean, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Kyle McCord, Syracuse, had a fine career. The thing is, my knock on him was he was at Ohio State, and then you go to Syracuse. Like, I'm not hating on you. You get some more reps. Syracuse, you're throwing the ball more and doing things, but it's like you was just at Ohio State, and then people didn't think you were good. I mean, you obviously got replaced. And that's the thing about college football now, Crap Man. These dudes are getting pushed out the door if you ain't good.
Joe Burrow was at Ohio State at one time.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, that's true. So I don't want to hate him, but he makes a lot of good throws.
Not that. Yeah. I mean, I ain't got much to say. I didn't watch a lot of them, so I would just be bullshitting if I was going to get on here and just say a bunch of stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll leave it alone.
The moral of the story is for the Fake Stuff podcast, your dynasty, fantasy football league, Superflex. It's really three more main quarterbacks you even got on the mind, really. And that's if Jaxson Dart gets first round draft capital, which me and Craftman are convinced he's going to get. Yeah. So go ahead, Kraft.
I mean, I agree with you. After the first round, it's a lottery ticket. You might get a guy that has a decent career after that, and really the ones that we've seen that have done it with your Jalen Hurts and stuff like that, they ended up on these crazy ass good teams. I mean, you got Dak over there with the Cowboys who, you can hate on them all you want, but they usually win games during the regular season. They just suck in the postseason. You got the 49ers with Brock Purdy. You got Jalen Hurts with the Super Bowl winning Eagles, like good organizations. So I would say if you're going to take some crazy shot on one of these guys, Quinn Ewers, Will Howard, Jalen Milroe, I mean, if they go to just some really good organization and they just need an injury to get in the game, and maybe with a quarterback that's not, cemented in as like a franchise quarterback in front of them. That's the only way I'd take a chance on him.
Right. And I agree. Couldn't agree more. I mean, Crap Man, that was our breakdown of the quarterbacks. If I do say so myself, I would say we killed that shit. Anything?
I enjoyed it.
Listen, to the people out there, I just want to say thank y'all for listening to our podcast, to our show. Check us out on me and Crab Man. We still working out bugs. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out the best way for us to operate and do business. Shout out to C Swizzy, been busy, but he's been on with us lately too. So we're really just shout out to the team, all y'all fellas that have been working hard. Thank y'all. But everybody out there, check us out on YouTube. Hit the bell notification. We're trying to get the subscribes up, and check us anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Apple, Spotify. I don't even know what else is out there. YouTube podcast. If it's out there, I got it on there. I've seen all the different platforms. I just don't know what the fuck they are. But iHeartRadio.
Spotify's a big dog. And YouTube.
Yeah, Spotify. So, Crap Man, anything you'd like to add?
Nah, man, just enjoyed it. Enjoyed getting on with you tonight, talking some quarterbacks. I mean, like I said earlier in the episode, I mean, it's kind of the NFL, the scouts can't figure it out. And, this is a tough position to figure out because you just got in college, you got these quarterbacks that can sit back there all day long and make things happen. And then you got these other guys who, might play against better competition and might play, with a kind of a shittier team like Shedeur Sanders. Right.
Well, shoot, Crap Man, I I guess that about sums it all up. But tight ends next. That'll be the last of our first go through draft. Crabman, where's the draft, man? What's the date?
Shit, I don't know. You asked me. I didn't even know. It's like April 20. It's like 2 Thursdays from now, I think. 2 or 3 Thursdays from now in Green Bay. And we ain't gonna do nothing.
Me and Crabman, we gonna break it down, tight ends, and then we'll probably touch on a few more players, do a few more things, some rookie mocks, get that NFL draft. Now we'll really get some rookie mocks going. And but yeah, like I said, everybody, thank y'all for listening to the podcast. But I think that about does it all for me and the Crab Man. So we out.
Peace.